Multicam sit-down interviews have been a staple in sports broadcast forever, but they're especially prominent in the NFL because local and national networks run them on their pregame shows. Now, I've worked on several of those interviews for Fox Sports and Amazon Prime as a camera op and a gimbal op and even a drone pilot, but in-house, I actually get to light and lens one of these every single week in season. So I want to talk about some keys to success today, some things to watch out for, and some ways that you can take your multicams to the next level, because regardless of the production scale, they all kind of use the same formula. I'm going to break it down. So the first interview we're going to take a look at is with our in-house talent, Tatum, and our wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. Now, when I go into a space, I'm first looking directionally where it makes sense to motivate the key from. In this case, while it was more dusk out and so we don't have as much level, I'm still motivating it from that window. And then I'm going to position the chairs in such a way that the room can help build depth. And one way I like to do that is by having the L of the room, or the intersection of two walls, as a part of the background. In this single right here, you can see the positioning of the chairs makes it so that right behind Justin's head is the intersection of the two walls. And similarly, in Tatum's over the shoulder, you can see the intersection of those two walls back behind her head. She's leading a little bit right now, but I had her positioned in the L of the room as well. And you do that just so the space brings your eyes in, leading lines, all that fun stuff. So once I found the angles, I gotta light the thing. The most common formula is cross keying, and this is where you boom out two lights that is the key light for the opposing person so they can stay out of the frame, but they can still shape and model the face and kind of give that nice, softer, wrappy light. So in this case, what I do is I'll boom out two F22Xs on, I think, mini booms on combo stands, because it's the most firepower we can safely boom in-house. And I'll just tweak and finagle those lights until they are nicely wrapping across the people that I'm about to light. So in that case, as you can see here, I match the temperature of the key light to the exterior, which I can't control, and then I'm just positioning that in a way where it wraps around Justin's face, falls off nicely, and builds a little bit of contrast. And when you go and do this with two lights, what you'll notice is that Justin's key becomes Tatum's hair light and vice versa. So cross keying has the added benefit of the other person's key becoming the near person's hair light. So in this case, the light that's lighting Justin's face is also hitting Tatum's hair. But because typically you're closer to that light, it's gonna have more exposure level. And this is a subjective thing, but I've seen the level knocked down with nets before. I've seen it cut entirely and people have brought in their own hair lights. I've seen it just cut entirely and then you don't have any kind of hair light. I've seen an egg crate kind of ripped halfway down so the bottom of it is more directional and keeps a little bit of that light off of the hair, but the top of it spills out and maintains that level on the talent that is trying to key. Like I said, all kinds of these problem solves, but we didn't have any on the day, so we just tried to position as best as we could. And while there's a little bit of extra level here, it doesn't bother me that much. So talking about angles, my approach is I want a clean single on the player or the subject, and then dirty OTS on the talent. So in this case, Justin's angle is a clean single, it's just him in the frame. But in Tatum's OTS, you can still see Justin, which kind of something that I picked up, and it's a subjective thing, but something that I like is that the subject of the interview is always in the interview frames. We throw the two shot in the Dana Dolly and have somebody move it back and forth just to, again, build a little bit of depth and interest in that angle. And for focal lengths, I really like the 85 mils on the single and the OTS, and I like the 35 mil on the Dolly. It's a good combo of wide with a little bit of compression. That's basically the main formula. If you want to lower the contrast ratio, you can always bring some fill in, and this can be done with a bounce on the ground if you've got enough return from your room or your space or whatever. I've also seen, like, over your two shot, you can put a softbox, you can put a big light mat. There are ways to do this. I would be careful with fill lights though, because you don't want the return to look sourcey. I've always learned that you kind of want to work like harsher to softer light as you wrap around, which means the fill side should be the softest. And for that, using lights can sometimes make it feel like it's lit. Now, to add a little bit of interest to the interview, we bring in the fourth camera. It's usually on the gimbal, and what this lets you do is it lets you get a walk-in shot, which a lot of times the editors like to start the interview. Then you can pick where this goes. On some of the bigger jobs I've been on, it's been parked on some Apple boxes and turned into a second single of the player. And also sometimes they'll just slowly kind of work around the room and get the whole set into the frame, and it kind of breaks the wall. Stylistic thing, but that fourth camera can really be nice. Now, we did have a specialty angle in this that we used to, I think, tease this episode on our weekly TV show, and it's weird, it's very funky. It's a 50 mil wide open, I think at like a T15, and it is a very, very dramatic and odd angle, but this is just because we had the camera and lens availability. The essentials are your wide 2 shot and your 2 close-ups, and then again, if you want that 4th angle to either be another option for the main subject, or you want to have that behind-the-scenes gimbal look, or some kind of break the world, break the wall, whatever, that can work really well. This is how I approach it. This is what I've seen on some of those bigger jobs that I've worked on, and it's just typically a matter of the crew size, what size G&E package you have, and what the needs are to solve problems in the space. So I hope that was informative. I hope that helped, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.